masterclass. I'm trying to do a masterclass per month if I'm able to. And for every topic, I like to make sure I, create a masterclass on a topic that's relevant to all of you. So for this particular topic, I did a poll in the nutrition coaching and counseling Facebook community, which you're all invited to join if you're not a part of that. And this was the topic that had the most votes. So after having conversations with plenty of dietitians, I also realized that this is a very common situation where we might not know exactly how to strategically and in a compassionate manner jump in or let our clients know that, we're running by the clock. So we want to make sure we make the best out of our time together. So because this topic comes up a lot, I figure why not create something that's going to be useful to others. And I do realize that, actually, I'm going to go into some of these slides now. So today's topic, let's chat about it. Strategies to keep your nutrition session within the allotted time frame. So hi, everyone. I'm Joyce. I am a nutrition counseling coach for dietitians. I'm also an assistant professor of nutrition and dietetics at Framingham State University, and I am the founder of the Nutrition Counseling Academy. I would love for you to consider me your biggest ally in all things nutrition counseling. So if you want to ever chat, you can send me a message. You can join the Facebook community, and I hope to be able to provide value to all of you. Oh, yes. And I do specialize in training dietitians in using motivational interviewing, behavior change science, and patient-centered approaches that are solution-focused and strength-based to be more inclusive in our practices so that you can feel more confident in your ability to be able to carry out effective nutrition counseling sessions with your clients. So disclosure, I am the founder of the Nutrition Counseling Academy, and there's also one CEU pending for this masterclass, which means that as soon as it is approved, I will be sending out an email with the certificate. It is pending for all those who attend live. So I just wanted you to know. It will not be sent out today, but it will be sent out as soon as I get the approval. CDR might be taking a few days, it might be taking a couple of weeks. That's the only thing that I want you all to know. So by the end of today, you will be able to list some key strategies to be able to focus and refocus your nutrition counseling session to remain relevant and on target, and also identify ways to break in and interrupt your clients in a compassionate and kind way so that they know that you're doing it for their best interest in mind, right? So let's get to it. Is this masterclass for you? How do you know if this masterclass is relevant to you and and for what you do? So let's start off by asking a few questions. Have you ever felt a little bit of imposter feelings or feeling a little bit inadequate in your nutrition counseling sessions because you should know how to do this? You should know how to provide effective nutrition counseling in your sessions within the allotted time frame. Been there. Maybe your clients feel so comfortable with you that they just want to go on and on and on talking, and you're spending your whole session really, chatting away and engaging, which is not a bad thing, but you would like to move further into conversations or going to go into the focusing and the evoking and the planning aspects of your counseling session. So you're not alone. Obviously, by the amount of dietitians who signed up for this class. You have an innate ability to connect with your clients, but you aren't sure how to make your clients move in the direction of behavior change without being pushy or without imposing. This is common. You want to provide the best client experience for your clients, and you care deeply for your clients, but your clients might not be making enough progress. Or you might be feeling drained by your nutrition counseling sessions, and you're constantly trying to provide all the solutions for your clients and doing all the work, and this can lead to burnout. So ultimately, you might be feeling that something's missing in your training or in your skill set, and therefore you cannot make the impact that you wish you could be making in your clients' lives through your nutrition counseling sessions. So if any of this resonates, I know that you're here for a reason, and this masterclass is for you. And I'll say that this is not your fault. So I know you're all highly driven and deeply caring professionals who want to enhance your nutrition counseling and communication skills. So you are in the right place. Now, this is not for you if you feel that you enjoy feeling stuck in chatting mode throughout your whole nutrition counseling session, or if you prefer to go straight to nutrition education, or even go straight to planning without evoking the client's own intrinsic motivation. This is not for you if you feel that focusing solely on nutrition education is the best way to support your clients in your sessions. This is not for you if you feel totally confident and you don't feel the need to level up your nutrition counseling skills. But you're here for a reason. So I know that you're in the right place. So I would like to start off by asking you, and you're able to use the chat if you want, on a scale of 0 to 10, how do you feel about your current nutrition counseling skills? 0 being that you're feeling imposter syndrome quite often. You're not sure what to do when clients are stuck. You're not exactly sure how to support your clients when they're struggling. You aren't sure what to do when they're acting in a way that seems resistant to your suggestions. You're not sure how to improve your skills. That would be a 0. A 10 would mean that there's no way you could get any better because you are already amazing and you are an expert in nutrition counseling. Let's say Molly Kellogg or Don Clifford level. That's a 10. So if you're a 10, you probably shouldn't be here, but you're welcome nonetheless. So where do you think you are on all of these levels? Okay, great. So I'm seeing a little bit of everything. Okay, a lot of 6s. Okay, great. Thank you so much for that self-reflection. So then that leads me to the next question. I'd love for you to take a second and think about what the most important reason is why you're here. So you're all here because you know that something's missing and you want to improve your client experience, you want to improve your client retention, and you know there's some room for improvement. So you're not a 10 out of 10. There's a little bit of room for improvement. So that means that I would like for you to think about how do you feel that not improving these nutrition counseling skills could be affecting your clients. So what do you think might be the result as far as client outcomes or client relationship with the clients, or how this could be impacting your clients in general? So ultimately, all we want to do is help, right? That's why we choose this profession. So how is our lack of prior training potentially impacting our clients? It's okay if you want to share directly to me. You don't have to share with the whole group if you don't want to. But this does form a sense of solidarity, because if you're here, you're all feeling a certain way. I felt it. So this just means that you're not alone. Okay, there might be some confusion. Patient may not be able to reach their goals. Okay. So now we're seeing how it could be impacting our clients. Yes, anything that you can think of. See what else comes to mind. Thank you for sharing. They may quit, and then we're not really able to help them. Okay, they don't feel heard and understood. Yes. They may feel like they're not a priority. How many have felt that? Especially if we're rushing, right? We have to get through like our list of 10, 12, 16 patients or clients. Patients may not return for more counseling. Yeah. We want our clients to be comfortable. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. They may seek advice from non-RDs. And we're already fighting an uphill battle here, right? Okay. So then I'll switch this question to think about how would not enhancing your nutrition counseling skills Or how has the prior training, which has left much to be desired for many of us, how do you feel this is affecting you? This can be personally, this can be professionally. So I'm asking you because many of us tend to feel alone in this journey. And I want you to know that whatever you may be feeling, or maybe feeling a little bit of imposter feelings, I felt them, to feeling inadequate sometimes, I felt it, is something that's common and it's not your fault. Lack of confidence. Yeah. Oh my goodness, feel scatterbrained and unprepared. Yes, I hear that one. Lower self-esteem as a provider. And I'll say that can also filter sometimes into, how it might be affecting you personally in your personal life. Frustrated, feelings of burnout, like we're always trying to work more than our clients are, maybe caring more than our clients care. And that can be a real issue. Negatively affects my time management. Thank you for bringing that up. That's a big one too. And in what areas of your life might this be trickling down? So in some cases, this can go even beyond the professional aspect and trickle down to the whole person. So how might this be affecting you personally? I know for me, I was feeling burnt out inside my job and outside of my job. I was always working more than my clients were. I wasn't feeling confident. I was starting to second guess as well as second guess my own self, my own answers, because I wasn't sure if I was doing the right thing with my clients. And that filtered into my work environment too. I feel like I wasn't worth my value in the company to a certain extent. So my confidence had been really, bashed by this. I had trouble finding reasons to negotiate higher salaries or a raise because, I wasn't feeling very confident. So I knew something had to change. And sometimes that even filtered into my personal life. Lack of confidence could be filtering down into my personal conversations with friends, with loved ones. And then when I realized this, I felt much more confident, not only with my clients, when I realized that I could enhance my counseling skills and how that would actually trickle to all of these other areas of my life. It also helped me in my personal life, in conversations with loved ones, in conversations with peers, with colleagues, with my partner, but also conversations with my kids. It can help in so many aspects. Let me see. Burnout. Yeah. If we don't cover enough during the sessions, this requires longer follow-up, and between sessions getting to less personal time. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you all for sharing. That means a lot. So I'm here to say that if you feel that something is missing in your training and therefore you cannot make the impact that you wish you could be making, you're not feeling as confident as you wish you could be feeling, I'm here to tell you that it's not your fault. All the training you received, or most of it in your dietetics training, up until now has likely been missing a big aspect of what's actually happening in the real world. So the real world application and support has been needed, that's been lacking for you to really be able to improve those skills. So although the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics recommends that dietitians incorporate proven counseling methods, such as motivational interviewing, to help clients facilitate desired behavior change, we're not always given enough opportunity to learn, practice, and master these skills in our training. And I know it because I've been teaching this for a couple of years. And what I inherited versus what I've been teaching now has drastically changed. And I know that as a student, it's very different to learn this when you're a student or an intern versus when you're, doing this. It's a different perspective that you have when you're learning this, when you're actually doing it, and you need to be able to do it well, right? So dietitians are experts in systematically assessing, diagnosing, creating interventions, monitoring, and evaluating the interventions, right, with each client to provide the best and consistent high quality nutrition care. That's the ADIME, right? Nutrition care process. For me, it's nutrition counseling and communications, it's what we do, and how we do it has all to do with communication skills and how we do what we do, basically. So counseling tends to be one of the nutrition interventions within the ADIME process or the ADIME framework. But in my opinion, it's much more than just an intervention. It's how we build relationships, how we're able to let our clients feel heard, validated, seen, understood, how we keep clients coming back, how to really be able to support them to make long-term changes. So counseling is going to be essential to working with our clients at their pace, showing empathy, creating and holding a non-judgmental yet accountable space for them to explore their barriers, what's getting in the way, what their goals are, and what really motivates them, and how we can really resolve these issues with them. So if you ask me, the nutrition counseling skills that you have to help your clients tackle change are just as important as the nutrition knowledge you have to support those changes. And this is where it gets really scary. In a recent publication, 2022, out of all the dietitians who were interviewed, 93.7% of dietitians reported that post-registration training on communication skills for behavior change was necessary. That means that 9 out of 10 did not feel confident in their ability to be able to use their communication and counseling skills to support their clients through the behavior change journey. This means that we're lacking a lot of training in this aspect. So that means that you're not alone, you're in the right place, and I'm here to help support you and help provide all the resources that you might need to help you feel better about where you're at and get you closer to where you want to be. So for most dietitians, our current training leaves much to be desired when it comes to nutrition counseling to support behavior change. If you were left feeling lack of confidence and unsure how to proceed, it's likely because there was a heavy emphasis on nutrition education, not counseling. And clinical was likely a big emphasis. So counseling many times is reduced to asking open-ended questions to complete your assessments. And that's just a little bit sad. We get lots of training on nutrition education, not counseling. So we are like expert nutrition educators, right? We know so much. We just want to share that education with our clients. And education is all about imparting knowledge. So if knowledge deficit is the main issue that our clients have, then nutrition education should resolve this. But for most, it's not about lacking knowledge. It's the issue with confidence and motivation. And the goal is to be able to use both counseling and education in a way that complement each other so that we can better support our clients through all the struggles that they will have through their behavior change journey. Communication skills are often not emphasized to use compassion and empathy, but instead, we have been taught to use communication skills in a prescriptive and directive approach. And this doesn't really create a good therapeutic relationship from the get-go. It actually leads to a power imbalance and more difficulty in creating partnerships with our clients. And so then we end up recurring to books, which are wonderful. I love books, but books can only take you so far as far as nutrition counseling goes, because you can be reading your MI book, you can be reading all those wonderful books out there. You can even have like a few webinars like these or even a whole day training, but this will only give you knowledge and a little bit of skills, if any. You need really supervision and feedback and lots of practice in a low stake environment to be able to enhance this new skill and like really master it. And that's what's missing. Being able to do this once you're already seeing clients so that you're able to practice it, get some feedback. So kudos to all of you because you realize the importance of enhancing your nutrition counseling skills. So before we shift gears and go into the strategies, I'd like to get an idea of how many of you have your own private practice. How many of you feel free to, type in me if you work if you have your own private practice. I'm just curious to see who the audience is here. Okay. So we have, if you have your own private practice, then you're probably working really hard to get clients. Maybe you do discovery calls or clarity calls. Maybe you get referrals. And what it comes down to is that your nutrition counseling skills um, will help get you more clients, but they're also going to help you get out of a potential cycle that you might be in of working really hard to get clients who either may not be getting results, may not be sticking around long enough, or you may be having trouble really getting through and supporting them in the way that they need to be supported. Okay, so thank you. I'd like to start once I graduate. Wonderful. So our goal as dietitians is to show our clients how we can support them as long as they need our help, right? Once they're able to fly on their own. It might be 2 months, it might be 6 months, it might be a year. Everybody's different, and we'll be working at different paces based on where our clients are. So if we're not supporting them through their behavior change journey for as long as they need us, then we're not really doing them justice. But if we don't know how to guide them through this journey and interact with them when they're struggling or when they're appearing to be resistant, then that's when it gets really tricky. And I like the view of there's much we can do as dietitians because this is really empowering to the profession. This is empowering to us because it means that there's lots that we can do to be able to create a strong therapeutic relationship with our clients. There's lots we can do to learn to have the conversations that we need to have with our clients to be able to support them, retain them as long as they need to work with us, and ultimately provide them with the best client experience. So then my next question is, I guess I got ahead of myself. When it comes to client retention, if you are in private practice or even in any job that you would benefit from, or a client would also benefit from seeing you longer, then we have to focus on how we can support them, especially when times get tough, so that they can continue working with us as long as they need to be working with us. We don't want to be losing opportunities where they drop off or they stop working with us when they're not ready to yet because they're not seeing the value. So the Academy of Nutrition Dietetics recommends usually around 6 months of nutrition counseling with meetings every other week. It's about 14 sessions for someone in the action stage before reaching maintenance. And this is solely from the Evidence Analysis Library for Weight Management. So if you see clients, on average, sorry, let me say this again. So even if someone is not necessarily in the action stage, maybe they're in the preparation or contemplation stage, and they could be in a different stage of change for different goals, then this might require longer time of us working with them. But anyone who's worked with behavior change knows that it usually takes about 6 months or even more for sustainable behavior change. So if you see clients on average 3 times, and then your clients are leaving, they're dropping off the map, you're not seeing them anymore, when in theory you should be seeing them about 14 times to reach maintenance phase in a 6-month period, that's a huge missed opportunity for you to help them and to make a bigger impact on their lives, because we know that the longer that they're working with us, the more likely that we can help them through these changes that are going to be more sustainable. It's also money left on the table if you're in private practice because it's sessions you're potentially missing. You want to work with clients until they've made sustainable changes, but they're leaving after a couple of sessions, and that limits your ability to impact your clients, but also it caps your revenue. So if you're only seeing them 3 times, hypothetically speaking, and ideally you want to be seeing them 14 times, that's going to be 11 potentially missed sessions. And if I use an average of $120 as a reimbursement or payment for a sessions, yes, okay, good point. Medicare only covers a certain amount. So imagine that you're not using Medicare. Then this might be an estimate where you might be leaving money on the table. So for some insurance reimbursements, you would be able to get more. For some, you might not be able to get as much. But you'd be potentially missing out on maybe $1,000 per client, depending on which insurance company you're working with, or maybe you're private pay, right? So that's more than $1,000 potential revenue loss per client. And let's say this happens with maybe 50 clients a year. I'm just throwing numbers out in the air. This could lead to potentially $66,000 lost revenue. So you can see how this could make sense from the thousands of dollars of potential earnings lost if you're in private practice. But that's just hypothetically speaking, because this is not about finances, right? But if you're not able to get client retention, it truly cannot make a lasting impact on their lives. And our counseling and communication skills are going to be one of the number one predictors of client retention rates. But what if you're not in private practice? So Kimberly, yeah, if you can stay after, I can send you the link. It's from the Evidence Analysis Library guidelines that were published in 2022. So the nutrition counseling skills that dietitians can benefit from go beyond private practice. So how many of you work for someone else, maybe in a larger organization? I think someone mentioned public health. I'd like to get a sense of where everyone is working with or in what type of setting. Okay, let me see. University Rec Center, telehealth company. And WIC, awesome. Okay. So if this is your situation, when it comes to counseling communication, you likely need to negotiate your salary or promotions or raises every so often. And your nutrition counseling skills will only enhance your value as a highly competent employee. So I can tell you from my experience working in a larger organization years ago, that my client no-show rates and client satisfaction surveys were key factors in helping directly influence my negotiation points, right? When it came to raises or promotions. So if you're keeping track of your no-show rates, and if you're in a company in any way that surveys clients, then for client satisfaction or things like that, those are two KPIs you could be using to also show your worth or value, and how nutrition counseling skills can really impact that. Because a lot of these companies, of course, they want to help people, but the bottom line is that they actually want to see how much you are worth as an employee and what you might be bringing in. So if you're able to show that in some way, you're going to be in a better position for a raise, no doubt. So what if instead you felt confident in your ability to create a strong therapeutic relationship that helps support and retain your clients, even if you're limited by the amount of numbers of sessions that you have to see your clients? And what if you knew exactly what to do when clients took over the conversation or are all over the place with regards to the nutrition goals and plans? So type 1 if any of this sounds like something you would love to do. Something that sounds like, wow, I want to get there. Definitely want to get there soon. Great. So we're going to get started now with the content. So we're going to cover, actually it's more than 3 tips. It's like 3 general ideas, but we don't have enough time for all the different strategies. We can employ like over 10, 15 strategies for a topic like today's, but we don't have time for that today. So we're going to cover some key strategies that are going to help you if you're struggling keeping your clients on target or keeping them focused, or if you have very chatty clients and you want to make sure that you're getting to the most relevant nutrition information, right? And the conversations that need to be had within a session. But as we all know, this masterclass is short, and you only have enough time today to cover a few things. So if it's okay with you, at the end of the content, I would like to share what the Nutrition Counseling Academy offers. And at that point, if you're interested, and a few of you might be interested in getting additional guidance, support, resources, both free as well as services for dietitians, to be able to increase your client retention, make a bigger impact in your nutrition counseling sessions, then stick around. I understand this won't be for everyone. So if you're not interested after the content is done, then thank you for coming and you're welcome to leave at that point. But if it is for you and you really want to hear about how I can help solve your nutrition counseling struggles, then hang in there. I'm going to show you some different resources. Again, free resources as well as resources that you can jump in on if that's something that's of interest to you. Is that okay with you? Just type in a yes if it's okay for me to share that at the end. I'm going to make sure that it's okay with you. I don't want to catch anyone off guard. Okay, wonderful. So what I realized is dietitians don't want just another course. They don't want to read just another book. So I created this framework, which is what I'll talk about at the very end. But just from today, I'm going to highlight 3 aspects of my framework that I'll be focusing on for the strategies for today. So there's the entire framework. I go into troubleshooting and discussion, nutrition counseling struggles, application and role playing, how to figure out the client's stage of change, the spirit of MI, how to apply it, the micro skills, foundations of behavior change science, of counseling. So today I'm going to go into 3 aspects of this framework throughout the rest of the presentation. Before that, I'll officially introduce myself. So my name is Dr. Joyce Faraj-Ardura, and I am a nutrition counseling coach. I did my PhD in nutrition and mental health at UMass Amherst. I also did my undergrad there in nutrition and microbiology because I was fascinated with how the body and the immune system work together. I did my master's in nutritional science and my dietetic internship all at UMass Amherst. I really liked it there. So after that, I went on to Mountainside Treatment Center, which is a substance use rehab facility. And I was hired to create and manage the nutrition program. And I want to say that that's where I realized that I had all the knowledge. I had a pretty good amount of knowledge, content-wise, right? Science-wise. I was able to create this amazing nutrition program. I knew who to screen, when to see them. I ate them, got the framework, got everything. But then when I was seeing clients, something was missing. I'm like, this is not what I expected it would be like. It was different. I didn't have, the lack. I didn't have the knowledge and the skill set I needed to feel confident in having effective nutrition counseling sessions, especially when clients were not in the action stage. When clients are in the action stage, which is what we're trained for, easy peasy, right? They're ready, they're motivated. But even those clients who are highly motivated, motivation can wane. It can go down, it can go up. But what about those clients who are in preparation, more so in contemplation, pre-contemplation? Like, I didn't know what to do with them. I was not trained to know what to do with them. And it was very frustrating. I was feeling very incompetent, very inadequate. So that's when I started talking to my peers. And of course, I took all the professional development courses I could find, self-paced courses, read all the books. But working with therapists, counselors, social workers, psychologists opened up my eyes to the possibilities of learning more about nutrition counseling skills. So I get supervision, mentoring. I would attend all the workshops they were attending. I would hear how they speak about their clients, and I would even join in their sessions to just, start learning how it is that their counseling approach was different from what I had been taught. And that's when I realized, okay, I know what I need to do. So I went after it, and a few years later, here I am. I've been teaching nutrition counseling for the past 5 years to seniors and grad students at Framingham State University as a tenure track assistant professor. And I've been talking with dietitians who were telling me they shared my same story. They are seeing clients and they wasn't sure if they were doing things right, weren't sure where to go. They read a book or 2, they attended a 1-day webinar or a 1-day workshop, and they still weren't feeling very confident. I said, okay, so this is a perfect opportunity for me to create something that I'm passionate about. And that's how the Nutrition Counseling Academy was born in January 2022. So since then, I've been able to create a Facebook community. If any of you are interested, let me know. I'm going to share the link in a little bit. I can actually share it in the chat right here. So everyone in meeting. If you're not there, you can always join. I provide free mini trainings every other week. So usually around 10, 15 minutes, sometimes 30 minutes long. but I try to keep it to the point and short so that I can do one every 2 weeks, and those are entirely free. If you end up joining, just go up to the guides on your computer and you can check out all the trainings I have there. I also have an Instagram account where I connected with lots of dietitians and have wonderful conversations about what they felt has been missing. And that has led me to create the program that I'm working on now. So enough about me, let's get started. So we're gonna go into some strategies to tackle talkative clients and keep these sessions on target. Let's dive in. So when your clients are very chatty or talkative, they're either very comfortable or very excited. They could be very nervous too. It could be a defense mechanism, right? They might be distracting. Maybe they haven't been meeting the goals that you've been talking about. But what is sure is that they are expecting you to set the boundaries. And this is what we're going to go into today. The tips on how you can set these boundaries in a way that is compliant with a patient-centered approach. So behavior change is quite tricky. But regardless of how we see it, we know that clients are going to thrive when it comes to predictability. And the conversations we have are going to be more productive when we know how to focus them on what's relevant. And we have to do this with compassion to be able to make our clients feel that we really care about them. So the three strategies I want to break down for you are predictability, focus, and compassion. Predictability. So when we share with our clients what they can expect, they're going to thrive when we do this. So it's going to be less overwhelming for them. It's going to be less confusing for them. So less confusion can arise. We're going to be clear on the expectations, and this can actually lead to more client commitment if they know what to expect. So predictability is going to be a big factor influencing behavior change as well. Behavior change results less overwhelming when clients know what to expect. And this topic of predictability goes beyond just predictability in a session, but we can communicate the process of behavior change with our clients so they know what to expect, and we can normalize the struggle of behavior change. Because it's not whether they're going to struggle or not, it's a matter of when they're going to struggle. Everybody struggles. Behavior change is not easy. If you've tried it, you know it. If behavior change was easy, everyone would change their habits. If all it took to change a habit was logic and letting people know that this is harmful or X, Y, or Z is not healthy, then I think no one would smoke. Everybody would be physically active. Everybody would be meeting their fruits and vegetable intake in a day, right? But we know that that's not the case. It's so much more than that. So let our clients know what to expect, and that way we can manage their expectations as well, how long it could potentially take for them to see results. We need to be able to take them through the behavior change process because it is hard. What they're doing is difficult. Let them know that they will struggle, but you're going to be with them right there every step of the way. When they might, what they might struggle with should be in your conversations. When might be the best time to see you? Not when they're doing really well, but it's the opposite. It's when they're struggling the most, right? They might need your support. So predictability overall is key in our approach. So tip number one, feel free to take some notes here. Tip number one, clarify the expectations for this session. This should happen at 2 points, probably throughout a session, especially if you have someone that's going to be very chatty. So you're quickly going to know when you have a very talkative client, which is when you can implement this step. So it's important to have a clear intention for the session while acknowledging their need to talk about what's going on. We can clarify the expectation for the session at the beginning of your time together and near the middle or end of your time together. So what would this look like? At the beginning of a session, let the client know how much time you will have together and start setting the guideline for what will be the focus. You can ask the client at the beginning of the session what they want out of the session with you today. So it's important to include the word today as it gives direction for the current time together and not something in the future. So this will give you both clarity about what's important to achieve in the time frame that you have together. More importantly, if and when you need to break the conversation, you can do it by referring back to what is important to your client. So you should have this at the forefront. And here are some examples. We have about X number of minutes today. I realize that may not be much time, and I wonder, and then you can finish your sentence with any of these, if we could talk about X, Y, or Z. This first one is if you have something you really need to tackle or discuss with your client, maybe some abnormal labs, something that's really high priority, then that's when I would use this one. But I would also want to let the client decide what's important to them, because then you can refer back to this if you're lacking time towards the end. So I realized that may not be much time, and I wonder what would be the best use of our time together today? What would be the most helpful to discuss? What you hope to have discussed before the end of today's session? How will you know our time together was worth it? Your client will tell you exactly what's on their mind and what they want to talk about with you today. So those are some examples, but letting them know how long the session is going to take is going to hopefully help them be mindful of time. Now, we have to recognize that the client needs to talk, and that is okay, that it is okay to do so. You may also put a time frame depending on how long your sessions are. So, for example, by putting a time frame, it could be 10 minutes if you have a 30 or 45-minute session. If you put a time frame for listening to their story and get their agreement on the suggested time frame, that means that after that time frame, then you have established that it would be okay to interrupt them after that, 10 or 15 minutes, so that you can get moving into the focusing or the evoking or planning aspects of your session. And you can vary this time frame as well for talking time if and when needed. If you're noticing that your client just needs a little bit more being listened to, then you can always adjust this. It's going to be up to you to read your client's body language, to read where they're at and meet them where they're at, right? There won't be one cookie cutter solution for everything, but it's going to be up to you to take advantage of identifying what might be going on and what's going to be a good way to approach this. So the principle is what's important. It's not a specific number of minutes. That can vary. That can be entirely up to you. But the client needs to feel heard. They need to feel understood. And we do this by actively listening, making sure that we're reflecting back to them, but not just mirroring the content, but reflecting the meaning, right? The emotion and what that means for the client. And we practice a lot of this in my program because it's one of the most difficult things to be able to do, to be able to go past simple reflections and do complex reflections where your clients can really feel like, wow, my dietitian was really listening to me. They really got me. And I really feel supported. That's what we want our clients to feel like after they end their sessions, right? So we're able to validate their struggles and show empathy and compassion throughout the whole session. So let the client know how much time you have for the session towards the middle or end of your session. This can be crunch time for many. So refer back to what the client said they wanted to get out of the session and use those same words and then use because to frame it in their best interest. So this is going to be key, using the word because. Using the word because puts time frame around what you're going to say next, and that is what's important to the client. We're keeping what's important to them at the forefront. So this is just a suggestion. Use the words that you feel are most appropriate, but the key word here is going to be because. So because you said earlier that you want to X, Y, or Z, discuss this or that, I just need to clarify a few things and then have a look at this. Is that okay with you? Or because you mentioned you wanted to discuss how to integrate more fiber into your diet, I want to make sure that we have discussed an action plan and we go with some options that will work best for you. Is that okay with you? So using the word because and referring back to what they said at the beginning of the session was important to them is a good way to make sure you stay on target. Again, lots of different tips that you can apply. This is just one of them. There's another one. If you're noticing that you don't have that much time left, but you want to, get a few more words in before the session is over, you can say something along these lines. I really enjoyed our conversation today, and I hope to continue this talk in our next session. Unfortunately, we only have X number of minutes left today, and I'd like to make sure we have enough time to answer questions or plan our next steps. Or if you have another appointment right after your client session, you can say, I have an appointment right after a session, and I want to make sure we cover everything you wanted to discuss today before our time is up. It's always bringing it back to the client, so they know that you're doing what's best for them based on their needs. So they're not going to be feeling like, oh, my dietitian's kicking me out. No, it's because they wanted to discuss this. You want to make sure you answer all their questions. Using this language helps them feel valued, helps them feel special. Doesn't help, it's not going to have them feel like you're rushing. Moving on to tip number 2. Focus the conversation to what's important. So we do this through 4 different methods. First, ask more directed questions instead of asking wide open questions. I'm going to go into an example of this. Focus the session. I'm going to say refocus the session at any time, and then reflect back what's relevant. Sorry, I think I need to sneeze. So then a few examples here. Instead of asking your client, how are you? Which can lead to opening a potential can of worms if they start to talk about anything and everything that comes to mind, we use more directed questions. And so you can say something like, how are you feeling about X, Y, or Z? What thoughts came up for you since we last spoke? How are you feeling about the goals that we set last time? So we're going to be using questions that are more directed towards what you've been talking about, what's relevant to your sessions. And we know that trust is going to be needed for our clients to change their behavior. So when you have clients that are more chatty or more talkative, but you still want to be able to build that trust, even if time is limited, make sure you use these directed questions in your engaging process. Focus and refocusing the session. Focusing is going to be very important, especially if time is of the essence. So you're going to invite the client to focus on one single change topic. Focusing is going to be really helpful for this because they might have 5, 10 different things they want to talk about. And it's going to be tempting to go over a bunch of these, but stick to one whenever possible. If there's time remaining, you can add a second one, but explain that you can always explore additional changes in future sessions. Hint, hint, this helps with client retention. Letting them know that you're going to get to all of their concerns. You're going to answer all of their questions. You're going to get to discuss all of the topics they want to talk with you. But let's focus on one thing first, and then we can talk about those in the next few sessions. So focusing the session is going to be essential to getting to one specific topic for that session. An example here, in our time together, what can we focus on that will bring you or be of the most importance or make the biggest difference to you? If a client is unsure, you can ask them, what would be the most helpful at this point in time for us to talk about? So make sure that you're focusing on one thing. And if they're saying a few things, they say, well, physical activity, I want to manage my blood sugars, or I want to eat more fiber, I want to drink more water. So you're mentioning a few different areas. Which of these areas is the most important for us to talk about today? Which one do you feel is the most important to you? So by assessing the importance of the different topics, you can get to one topic that they can choose. If they're all over the place, if the client goes off in a totally new direction, they start talking about fiber, you've chosen your topic, you're gonna start incorporating more fruits and vegetables, and then start talking about more physical activity or just a separate topic. So when you're seeing that your client's going off on a few different tangents, then we're going to be able to refocus by saying something like this. We could talk about fiber, or we could talk about physical activity, the new topic. Which topic would you prefer to talk about first? This lets the client know that you've been listening and you're letting them choose. They have the autonomy to choose what to talk about. While both changes are going to be possible, it's best to help the client with one change at a time. If you notice the topic is shifting, provide a refocusing response to invite the client to determine the best direction for the session. If you have more time and they're really motivated, you could do 2 or 3 different topics. Entirely up to you how much time you have, but it's going to be essential to narrow it down to one at the beginning, and then let them know that as you're working together with them, we're going to start building upon those habits and expanding to different areas, so that little by little, you're going to be helping them with their behavior change journey, because they will be more successful at leaving your session highly confident they can do one thing than leaving your session with a lower confidence in 2, 3, or 4 things. And then lastly, we have tip number 3, breaking in with kindness and compassion. So there was one tip, reflect back what's relevant. And when it comes to reflecting, this takes a lot of practice. So a big focus of our program is to be able to learn how to craft reflections that go beyond just mirroring content, be able to reflect the meaning, the emotion, and try to get at what's important to the client and move them towards behavior change. And that's going to be one of the big aspects of using or applying MI skills. So breaking in with kindness and compassion. Kindness is a reflection of how considerate you are with your clients. It's very different from being nice. Being kind and being nice are different things. We show kindness by focusing on others, by listening actively, by viewing our client with unconditional positive regard, by accepting them. We show kindness by affirming them, by searching for their strengths and using affirmations to help them feel more confident in their ability to make change. Because you know that self-efficacy is one of the key factors for determining whether someone changes their behavior or not. And then we have compassion. So compassion has a few different meanings, but when it comes to motivational interviewing, it is one of the key aspects of the spirit of motivational interviewing. And compassion there refers mostly to being present and focused on the needs of the client and not centered on self-gain. So compassion in a nutrition counseling session is about promoting our client's welfare and giving the priority to the client's needs. It's about focusing on the needs of the client over our personal needs at all times. We can also express compassion through expressing concern for our client. And you can express compassion by saying something like, I'm right here with you. I'm trying to help you and support you. I want to support you in whatever way I can. So those are just very compassionate statements. So it's putting your client's needs above all, basically, and centering on your client during the session, doing what's best for them, keeping their health and goals as the main focus. And this is what distinguishes a practitioner that uses motivational interviewing, let's say from someone that is a car salesman, for example. A salesman might be trying all their tactics to sell or imposing things, but a compassionate healthcare provider will have an ethical responsibility to do what's best for the client, keeping that at the forefront of the conversations. So we can convey compassion by prioritizing the client's needs and by actively promoting the client's welfare in our sessions. So this is an example of how we can break in a conversation with kindness and compassion. So refrain from interrupting, but whenever we find the pause, then we jump in and say something along these lines. If I may jump in for just one moment, I'm concerned we're not going to be able to discuss the reasons we're meeting today. We only have X number of minutes today, and I want to make sure I have time to answer any questions that you have about X, Y, or Z topic. If it's okay with you, I'd like to show you a list of, this is just an example of maybe if you haven't focused yet. If it's okay with you, I'd like to show you a list of changes clients often make to improve client's condition or reach health goals. Then perhaps you could select an area you'd like to talk about more. How does that sound? This is going to be to help focus the conversation and start bringing it into evoking the client's own intrinsic motivation for change. And then you're going to go into planning. So those are the types of conversations we tend to have in a motivational interviewing type of approach, where we need to be able to focus before we can actually ask them about their own reasons for change. So in summary, we have the three areas: predictability, discuss expectations; focus, the conversation, stay within relevant topics; and break in with kindness and compassion. Now, I would love to hear from you. Which of these strategies would you like to try out that you found the most, relevant to where you're at in your nutrition counseling journey? You can type in, 1 for predictability, or you can type it out: predictability, focus, or breaking in with kindness and compassion. Which one resonated the most with you? Okay, seems like number 2 might be a winner. We have some 3s too. Okay. Thank you all for participating. It's great to see, where everybody's at and what areas they've found the most interesting. So I like to ask you, is there more that you could be doing to be able to truly help your clients, those clients you work so hard to sign up with you, to provide them with the best client experience so that they can keep on coming back and work with you longer to reach their goals? So your business can prosper if you're in private practice, so you can feel more confident in your ability to help your clients and create sustainable private practice. Is there anything else that you can do? So the lack of training you received up until now, not your fault, right? But what you do about it now moving forward is entirely up to you. So what if instead you knew exactly how to approach your clients when they're very chatty, or when they're struggling with change, when they're showing some resistance, or when they're not ready, or when they're in pre-contemplation? Just imagine all those struggles that we commonly have. What if you knew exactly how to approach those clients? What if you felt confident in your ability to provide effective nutrition counseling, meaning that you feel good about what you're doing and you're seeing change in your clients, and you felt amazing about the impact that you're able to make on your clients' lives, even when time is limited? How would these help you feel? So this presentation will be sent, the replay will be sent to everyone who registered, so you will be getting it. If anyone wants the slides, I'd be happy to send them to you. So for those of you who might be interested in additional support, I would love to share what I have coming up. If you don't need additional guidance, then that's fine too. Thank you for coming. But if you do want additional support, I am starting the next program on May 4th. This is the Elevated Nutrition Counseling Blueprint, your ticket to higher client retention, a skill building program for dietitians. So in the past few months, I've talked with so many dietitians, and some of the same issues come up. People are spread very thin. There is limited time that we have for professional development and finances. So I'm creating a new offer that's going to help meet the demands of those who might be interested. So I currently am running a program that's 12 weeks, and this is what the participants are saying. These are messages that I received from the current participants, that they are so happy they're in the program. The coaching calls are amazing. They're learning so much, even if they've been a dietitian for 25 plus years. This person said, I wish I would have found you years ago. This client said, I think the best thing about the course overall is how comprehensive and encouraging it is. I feel like I've been provided so much more information and strategies than I even thought existed. It makes me very excited to keep learning. The group itself has exceeded my expectations. This individual has been getting so much out of working with me. She mentioned on the right here, the session with my new client went beyond excellent, and Joyce, I attributed that success to working with you. I seriously couldn't have had so much success without having you, without having worked so hard with you. We've been practicing a lot. This particular dietitian was someone who was an inpatient for over 10 years and then moved into outpatient private practice and realized that the skill set was very different. So this is a very common scenario. Here I have another client who said that she likes our course organization. We learn theory, then apply it in practice. I provide them feedback. We're all encouraged to participate. I'm learning lots. Even though I come in with a solid foundation, she actually teaches nutrition counseling. I am seeing the connections and layers and nuances. It's been a fabulous class so far. Joyce is a delight and an instructor, very knowledgeable and engaging. This dietitian on the right has been practicing RD for over 20 years. And she said, I'm really applying the heck out of your teachings and have found reassurance in what I was doing, as well as brand new ways of approaching challenges. I think counseling is much more difficult than it seems and truly appreciate a course like yours. Can my group of dietitians join the next round? So if it's okay with you, I'm going to share the framework. And this is what I put together based on many conversations I have with dietitians, based on my experience, but also based on what I've been teaching for the past 5 years. So the foundations will go over the behavior change science, things that you need to know to be able to understand how people think about change and what the common struggles are and how we can employ strategies to be able to tackle that. Building a therapeutic relationship is going to be key. It's actually one of the key factors in determining whether someone changes their behavior or not. And we don't focus enough on learning how to create a therapeutic relationship in our training. The fundamental counseling skills. Then we go into the application and role playing. So this is where the live calls come in. We have the stages of change, how to apply them, how to identify where our clients are at, because they could be changing from one stage to another, and it's not always going to be linear. Using the spirit of MI to help our clients and build that therapeutic relationship. This for me was the most eye-opening part. I knew about MI. I knew about the open-ended questions, affirmations, reflections, summaries. I knew about change talk, sustain talk, but the spirit of MI is something that went in one ear and out the other. When I truly understood the spirit of motivational interviewing, and that's the attitude that we bring to our sessions, that's when I truly started believing that I could make a difference in my clients' lives and how to best do it. Then we have the micro skills, which we practice, which is the open-ended questions, the reflections, which is the big one, reflections and affirmations, how to create summaries, and when is a good time to do all of those. And the last part, which is the top here, is the practitioner mindset, how we go into our sessions, how we view our role as a dietitian. We go over real life case scenarios. Everybody brings in their struggles. We strategize together, come up with ways to be able to tackle those situations, and we also role play and we discuss. Because I realize that dietitians, they want more than just a course. They want the how-to. They want the personalized feedback. They want to be able to discuss. They want to be able to, apply and get feedback and get the coaching and do all of this in a low stakes environment so that when they're with their clients, they know what to do. So this program puts it all together. If you're interested, these are the details to the program. And I'm going to go into each of the key aspects of it. So this next round is going to be a 4-week hybrid coaching program. That means that for 4 whole weeks, you're going to have 1 weekly coaching call in a group setting. In these coaching calls, we're going to go over practice, coaching, troubleshooting, going over case consults, anything that you find you need at that moment. We're going to practice some of those skills. You're going to get feedback on those. A lot of activities to help you view counseling in an attitude that's going to help build that spirit of MI, be able to build a good therapeutic relationship with your clients, and they tend to last between 60 and 75 minutes. Heavy focus on the how to do nutrition counseling. In addition to that, you're going to have lifetime access on-demand modules, which are going to be self-paced with an accompanying workbook and handouts. So all the content is going to be there for you to go through it whenever you want. And you're going to have access to it for as long as you want. And then daily support and accountability for those 4 weeks. After that, entirely up to you If you want to go back to the content or the handouts, that's perfectly fine. But you're going to have daily support and accountability of a community for those 4 weeks where you can post your questions and I can give you answers right there via post, or I can create a video for you and share with the whole community. And the big thing about this is that it's so valuable because you're going to be having access to other professionals who are on the same boat, who share similar struggles, who might be asking questions that you're going to benefit from. So it's all really, really helpful. So I'd say having a course is great, reading a book is wonderful, but having all of these pieces come together, that's just magical. I'm basically creating what I wish I would have had years ago. So this is the full investment, $697 for a program that's valued at $1,200.
Oh,
but
there you are. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, yes.
Okay,
I'm just
better. So I was asking about, do you drink any milk or juice products?
Wait, can we mute? Can we get muted, please? Yeah. There we go. I'm no longer muted. So I just want to say that if you join between today and the 19th, not only do you get the pre-sale masterclass special $497 for everything that I'm offering, but you also get 2 bonuses. Can you hear me? Okay. So if you join between now and the 19th, you also get 2 bonuses. So the first bonus is that you would get access to an expert guest body image coach for dietitians, Amanda Mittman, who's going to be presenting on April 26th. So you're going to get exclusive access to this presentation, but only if you invest in this week. And you're also going to get a one-to-one coaching call with me. And that's not part of the regular package, only if you purchase before April 21st. After April 21st, it will go into the full price. So I'm just going to go ahead and post the, here we go. I just realized that I sent the program details, not to everyone, just to one person. So I just posted the links on the chat. So if you take advantage of the Masterclass pre-sale special, which the link is already open and it's already available, then you're going to get $150 off the regular price. And you're also going to get 2 extra bonuses valued at, I think, like an extra 150 or 200. So that's one way to go about it. The second one is if you purchase between the 19th and the 21st, you're going to get access to the early bird special. So that's $50 off plus the 2 bonuses. So the best deal is if you purchase before April 19th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern time. After the 21st, you will only have access to the full price without the bonuses. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure when I'm going to offer this again because I am going to be having a baby this summer. So if you're on the fence between whether you want to join or not, I would love for you and I to chat. Now I'm going to go ahead and post my calendar as well. So this is my calendar. If you want to hop on a discovery call with me, I'd love to talk, even if this is not for you, but you're curious about what I offer. And I do offer different services as well on the Nutrition Counseling Academy website. I offer a one-to-one coaching call if you just want a one-time call. I also offer a review of your session. And I also offer, if you have a private practice, I can go in and I can go in or virtually do a workshop, obviously, for your group of dietitians. So these are the 3-tiered prices. If anyone's interested, I would love to chat more with you. And thank you for the congratulations. I have 2 little girls and I have a baby boy on the way, so I'm really ecstatic. So thank you. And if you're ready to make 2023 your best year yet, well, like not even halfway through, but almost halfway through, then now is the time to be able to hop on this. If you really want to make an impact on your client sessions and you want to get that personalized coaching and feedback, this is going to be the best program that's out there. And I'm definitely biased, but I created what I wish I had available when I was in your shoes. So if you want to hop on the phone or Zoom and schedule a discovery call, we can do that too. And I can answer all your questions. I'd be happy to just get to know you. Otherwise, that's it. That's all that I have today. Do you have any questions about the program? If you joined here late, I mentioned that the CEUs are pending. That means that as soon as the CEU is approved, I will send out an email with the CEU certificate. And it is a CEU for all those who attended live today. So thank you so much for attending live. If you have any questions, feel free to send me a message. I'll also type my email here.